Guys, Casual Coaster Enthusiast back with another installment of my Rebuilding Planet Coaster 2 Blueprints series. Today we're doing the RMC, the Skruvad. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that one, but this is their Topper Track model, RMC's Topper Track model. Now, the game does use, what model trains do they call these? So that's just the steel-topped standard trains, which these are basically the Gravity Group Timberliner trains, and Gravity Group, I know, is one of the companies that's been, especially in the wooden coaster industry, they've been trying to do with their wooden coasters some of what RMC did with their hybrids and their Topper Track coasters. So theoretically, this could also be a Gravity Group coaster, but I'm going to treat it as an RMC. So I'll come back with the POV, and then we can discuss what I want to do with my redesign. So. Alright, so that was Skruvad. I genuinely don't know how to pronounce the name. I thought it might be in the conline that the developers came up with for Planet Coaster, but I couldn't find any evidence of that. So I apologize if I'm absolutely butchering the word. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you know the correct pronunciation. Anyway. What I want to do, I want to reprofile this pre-lift section, maybe get like an airtime hill or two out of that. Probably doing a little bit of outward banking on some of that. That is definitely a very RMC move. So I think that's going to be one of the big things to do. This diving turn on the curved drop, I think I want to turn that into a, and this is another very RMC thing, a barrel roll down drop, I think they call it. I'm a little bit rusty, but it's something like that. It's common on a number of, especially some of the smaller RMCs. The one that comes to mind is Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. I think Wicked Cyclone maybe has it too. I don't recall off the top of my head, but I know a number of the smaller RMCs do. So I think that's what we want to do with the drop. this next turnaround is kind of profiled like a top hat, which I think RMC did on Steel Vengeance, but I kind of want to turn it into an outward banked airtime hill, because that is another very RMC thing. The following airtime hill is fine. This overbanked turn is okay. I might make it more steeply banked, or we could turn it into a wave turn. We'll see what we want to do with that. I think probably that would be okay as just a regular overbank. The airtime hill, turnaround, airtime hill, all of that's fine. This sort of inner turnaround here, I think we could do what Iron Gwazi did on theirs and put like a death roll, I think they call it, which is just a sharp downward heartline roll. That'll flow into the airtime hill there, and then that final airtime hill, airtime hill into a turn into the outer banked section. All of that is fine. We could maybe reprofile, but towards the end is okay. I do think I want to give a little bit. It does have enough space for a second break run, so we'll see profiling wise how things line up. But alright, so my recording got cut off slightly last time, but I have the station down, and you can see I replaced the gravity group style trains with RMC style ones. So I think what I'm going to do for this episode, try something a little bit different and to just build in increments, and then I'll just cut back in between each one and just to do it in updates like that instead of doing a live play. So I'm going to build to the top of the lift, and then I'll come back for the next update. Alright, so I've built the pre-lift section. You can see I kind of have an outward banked airtime hill, or an attempt thereof. I've built up through the lift hill, so I am going to start building the pre-drop. So I think I'm going to build probably up through at least these first three elements to the drop. This turnaround, which I'm going to make into a top hat, and if we can get it working out correctly, I think this airtime hill I want to turn into a 0G stall. What I don't know is this turnaround here. I don't know if we want to make that just a regular overbank or if we want to try to go for a wave turn. That'll probably be the next thing I build. That'll be after this, so I'm going to come back, like I said, with those first three elements, and then I'll figure out what I want to do with that turnaround, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've built up through the wave turn. Based on my best estimates, this is roughly the correct profiling for a wave turn. I don't really know. I've seen some people have kind of a funky little bump out, but to my knowledge it's literally just a banked airtime hill, like this. But feel free to correct me if you have more accurate information on that. Anyway, now that we have that built, I'm going to work on this airtime hill, the turn, and all the way up to this second turnaround that think I mentioned in in the intro that I want to turn into sort of a death roll or a mini death roll or a junior death roll kind of thing. If you know that element on Iron Gwazi, RMC does that, and it's just sort of a variant, as a lot of their inversions are. Just another sort of heartline roll type or barrel roll type kind of maneuver. So I'm going to go ahead and come back when I have all of that built. Alright, so I've built up through the turnaround into the death roll, which you can see on the original. Just as a comparison, now this airtime hill that crosses underneath itself, we're not going to be able to do this. So I think that's going to be the biggest difference between my version and the original. And I think we're just going to have the turn into this outward banked airtime hill. So I'll go ahead, and the other thing I did is I started adding the brake run here. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and probably finish up through this barrel roll and just finish off the ride, and then I'll be back for one final overview before we do the POV. So as I was going through, it's still kind of there, but as I was going through smoothing the coaster, I accidentally kind of took out the outward banked airtime hill. So I'm going to go ahead and redo this entire pre-lift section, maybe make it a little more pronounced. Hopefully that'll help keep the profiling for the final version. Alright, so I finished the layout. I did make a couple tweaks. You can barely see the outer bank there, but it is there. And then I just lowered the last couple elements because the train was navigating them too slowly. So. Alright, so that was my recreation of Skruvad, or however you pronounce that. Again, feel free to let me know down in the comments if you know what the correct pronunciation of that should be. But, yeah, so some of the profiling, I think, on my version could use a little bit of tweaking, and obviously some of the clearances are questionable, but other than that, I'm generally happy. I do think the train takes some of these elements toward the end a little slow, but other than that, I don't think it turned out badly, so let me know down in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.